right, so on today's episode, we have Shara here. Hi, Shara.
Hi, Carl.
Hi. And we are going to be talking about Shara's career as a physiotherapist and how it's perhaps kind of not your usual path. Or maybe there's a lot of what you consider like a usual path, but there's lots of facets to this, right?
Yeah.
Which makes you a unique practitioner, I guess.
Unique. That's something.
Yes. Weirdo.
Yeah.
Weirdo, right?
I'll own it.
All right, so Shara, should we start off by how did we meet?
Acupuncture foundation course in Bermuda.
Yes, yeah. Want to guess how long ago that was?
Oh, we try to work this out. And I want to say probably 12 years.
Close. I think it's more like 10 and a half years.
Okay.
So it was January, and my wife was pregnant with our second child, who
Yes.
is now 10. She's
Okay.
just turned 10. So, yeah, so so it must be 10 and a half years ago. 10 and a half years, man.
It just feels longer. Because I said 12.
Yeah. Many people would agree with you on that one.
All right.
So that's how we were first introduced, right?
Yep.
I was teaching you guys acupuncture and dry needling. Had you already done some needling before?
Yep. Did dry needling straight out of university.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you were already au fait with some of it, right?
Yes.
And then obviously I wowed you guys and have been invited back forevermore.
Many times.
Yeah, many times. So I guess what we've done over those years is we've kind of found that we have a lot of things in common, whether that be philosophically in terms of how health works, or maybe it's just aligned with being comfortable about discussing topics and being comfortable about disagreeing with things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we have any disagreements, but just different takes on the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes agree to disagree.
Correct. Yes, I agree.
Or pause the conversation till December.
True. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. You guys aren't going to know what that's about, right? But yeah. Right. Okay. So let's go way back, Shara. Like when were you first thinking about being a physio? Was being a physio always your thing?
It was, Carl. Like literally, I was 11 years old, and I had no idea what it was called, but that's what I was going to do. So my dad had a bike accident, refused to go for rehab and all the rest of it. So I was the rehab person.
Oh, really?
And I decided that's what I wanted to do.
At 11?
At 11, yeah. Didn't know it had a name, but
Okay.
that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people get better from accidents and traumas and things. So yeah, when I had to start deciding what I want to do, I was like, well, what is that? And landed up being physio. Obviously, it's quite a hard career to get into. So I had to change high schools so that my marks could get better.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yep.
This is like really early on in like serious.
Oh, yeah. So middle of high school, second last year of high school, changed high schools because I was in a quasi-government school and they were streamlining people. And I was like, I'm not going to get the marks I need. So my parents put me in a semi-private school so I could ace life and
And so for
make my
those
dreams come true.
For those that don't, so at 11-year-old, like we're not obviously thinking this is like pro level physio here, right? But like, how did you know what to do?
Well, it was massage. It was helping him walk. It was moving the joints.
Yeah.
I don't know how I knew. Maybe I was told. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
So had there been some like input right at the beginning, and then you kind of thought this is just a
Well, weirdly, I was really into aromatherapy. I remember getting like an aromatherapy book
Right.
for Christmas. So maybe it was from there.
yeah.
I really don't remember exactly how it came about, but I do remember I was 11 and a half or whatever age it was. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
And no matter how many times people try to change my mind,
Yeah.
I was going to be a physio.
Yeah. And then your schooling system, this is just purely out of my personal interest, yeah. So your schooling system, so you grew up in South Africa.
South Africa, Johannesburg.
Oh, right.
The Wild West.
Right.
Well, everybody thinks South Africa, Cape Town, beautiful. Joburg can be a little bit more hairy,
Yeah. A little bit more edgy.
a bit more edgy.
Yeah. This is why I don't offend Shara at all, and I'm sat quite far away from her. Right. All right. Okay. So go on. Tell us about that then. So.
So I went to high school at a convent. They helped me get into my university of my dreams, which was Wits.
Right.
Went to medical school.
At a convent?
A convent, yes, Carl.
As in run by nuns?
Yep. Our
Really?
headmistress was a nun.
No way.
Yep. Rosebank Mercy Convent.
Oh, right.
One
Okay.
of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why?
Not religious in the least, but that is, it was a really amazing experience.
Why? What was...
They just let people be who they are and facilitated young women's growth. It was great.
And was it a girls only school?
It was a girls only school.
Yeah.
The only way to keep them out of trouble, apparently, at that age.
Don't say that. I've got two daughters, and they're sweet and they're lovely. So, all right. So, like, and what was the difference? I mean, I know this is kind of off track on physio, but it's about education, right? So, like, what did you remember the difference between your other high school that you were part of and then the convent
Well, obviously,
one?
the other high school was a government school, so it was really big. The classes were huge. It was like 25 to 30 people in a class. I think it went from the A class down to the F class. So that's a lot within a year.
Yeah.
It was an Afrikaans English school. So obviously you didn't get the focus. And then I went to the semi-private school that was very focused on growth, personal growth, academic growth of all the girls. And there's probably 15 in a class.
Oh, wow.
And maybe 2 classes per year.
Wow.
So it was really something. And we had retreats. We had a silent retreat, which I could really struggle to do a silent retreat now. But at the time, it was amazing because you got to sit down and figure out if this is actually the path that you want to go on. And
That is amazing.
yeah,
Like that whole, I mean, the small class size, I imagine it means that any disagreements have to get sorted out pretty quickly because you can't, and a size of 30 in a class times by A, B, C, D, E, F.
yeah. And
You could easily hide away from a conflict, right? But when it's a group size of 30 people in a year and 15 people in a class, you figure it out, right?
It was the most amazing experience. And I don't know if I was just lucky that the women now that were in it were just the perfect group, but everyone was very different. Not everybody was Catholic, but everybody was welcomed. And yeah, it was just a really safe space for 2 years. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm very
Wow.
grateful to that school.
Yeah. I was totally not expecting to hear this. Like I don't know how I didn't know this, but like, wow. Do you feel like you learned things about you that you didn't
Yeah.
know, or was it more about you knew and it was just more encouraged to flourish?
I learned that the only person you can really control and maneuver is yourself. So all the things in life can happen and you can't control any of it, but you can control how you respond to it. So yeah, I had a few difficult moments in my childhood, and instead of making them a thing, it was just using that to get further ahead, motivate myself, have a good career, become independent.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at, yeah.
Wow. You kind of credit that last 2 years of school and to help you get into university. So is the education set up there where you kind of go straight from school to like a college and then a university? Or do you
Straight
go
to university.
At what age?
18?
Right. So is it compulsory education up until 18?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's not. UK, it's 16.
16, and then you can go to college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's optional, right? So then you can go into the world of work. You can do like an apprenticeship. You can do an internship. You can do pretty much whatever you like at 16, I guess. It's not compulsory.
Which I don't disagree with, but for me, it was the perfect way.
Yeah.
Like I went straight into university, got my degree, went straight into work.
Yeah. And how long was your degree?
4 years, BSc.
Yeah.
Went into medical school from second year. It was, again, a privilege because I worked in government hospitals. So you got lots and lots of experience while training. So essentially, third year, we were working half days. So literally 50% of my year was working. And then in fourth year, I think we worked Monday through Friday, full days, and then Friday afternoons were lectures.
Right. So 4-year physiotherapy degree, full-time,
Full time.
sat within inside a medical school.
Yeah. So did the cadavers, physiology, the whole pharmacology, the whole shebang.
Right. Wow. And you do that alongside medical students?
Yep.
Nursing students?
Not nursing students, but medical students,
Yeah.
occupational therapists, other
Yeah.
allied health practitioners. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, and that's it. And what you do, like shared lectures with them? You do shared...
Anything that overlapped. So physiology there was, and then after second year we would branch off, and they would obviously go and do more of the medical stuff.
Yeah.
But the basic physiology, basic anatomy was kind of shared.
Yeah. And so so first year was kind of like everyone's in it together type stuff.
First and second year.
First and second year. And would they, because I'm kind of thinking about what would be specific to a physio that, say, a medic might not be doing. So things like, would they go into the depths of attachments of muscles, for example?
In anatomy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Because if you're going to go into like orthopedic setting, you're going to need that, obviously, that level of detail, right?
I mean, we did the GI tract in as much detail as they did. So,
Wow.
yeah. So we did everything, lungs, everything. Well, I mean, having working physios in South Africa, I don't know if it's the same here. We work in ICU. So
Yeah.
we have to know that part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did as much depth in the organs as we did the muscles.
Wow. And then when...
That was a long time ago, Carl. Don't ask me any questions.
Yeah. Long time ago. All right, so real quick here, guys. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to provide high quality education through our podcast material, but we've developed something more. What we recognize is that clinicians are out there, they want to do acupuncture and dry needling, they want to do it more, they want to offer more. They know that acupuncture and dry needling has a fantastic evidence base, and in fact, everything's pointing to that we should be doing more acupuncture and dry needling. We should be using this with almost every single client that comes in, but people just don't know where to get started. They're feeling a little bit, is it safe? Am I doing the right thing? So we have a membership for you. In our 3-tiered membership, what we can do is not only support your day-to-day practice, but we can push you on to become the go-to clinician in your area, and perhaps nationally, and if you stay around long enough, maybe it's on the international stage. So let me just talk through what you get on every level. On every tier, you get the register. The register allows you to signpost your clients back to it to say, hey, I'm a reputable source. I've been trained properly. I haven't just kind of watched a couple of YouTube videos. I've done a proper training course. And it's also recognized by insurance providers. So if you want to claim back on the insurance, you can do that because you're a member of our register. The only way you get a member of our register is become a member with Breeze Academy. You get your safety course. The safety course is not just a few PowerPoints. It's in-depth video demonstrations on how you needle in safety across the whole torso, how you deal with adverse events, what the contraindications are to acupuncture. It's a world first. You also get access to our private Facebook group, and you get the clinical companion. And the clinical companion is basically like having one of our expert tutors in your back pocket at all times. So if you've got a client coming into you 5-10 minutes time, all right, they've got medial knee pain, get onto the clinical companion, upload the video. It's like 3 minutes, tells you exactly what you need to do, how you put the needles in, job's done. And we've got that for every single musculoskeletal complaint you can think of. So you get that. Now you get that all 3 tiers. On the essential tier, which is our basic tier, that's your package. If you know that you want to do more, right? If you're kind of the mindset that, you know what is, I want to offer more and I want to become the go-to clinician, then you've got the professional and you've got the growth tiers. A professional tier, what you get on top of those things is you get our monthly masterclasses. And our monthly masterclasses are us talking through a concept in loads of detail. So for example, each meridian is going to be mapped out. So we will show you how you find each acupuncture point on a meridian. We will show you how to needle every acupuncture point on the meridian. And then we go into the weeds. We start telling you exactly what every single acupuncture point does. On top of that, you get a free CPD course, so a specialist training course that you can either come to see us here at HQ, or we will be running sessions every now and then throughout the UK and beyond. And that can be something like, pelvic health, or it could be like headaches, or it could be sport. So you get that in with the professional tier. Now, in with the growth tier, you get all of that, but you also get more of us. And in that, you get quarterly mentorship. And those quarterly mentorship is where you bring your case studies in. So you bring in people who you're seeing right now, people that you're a bit stuck with, you're not sure what to do with. It may be about how we develop and push your business and practice on. But in effect, what we're dealing with in the growth tier is we're dealing with people who want to be the go-to clinician. They want to be an expert in the field. And that's how we can do it through the growth membership. If you've done our entry-level acupuncture course, we have a separate tier for you completely. And in that separate tier, what we're doing is all of those things that I've listed, but it's tailored specifically to you guys that have done the entry-level course. The 3-tier scenario is those of you that have done the foundation acupuncture and dry needling. And the single tier is for those of you that have done the entry-level course. We'll pop the links below so you can see them both. If you've got any questions, you can just give us a call and we can chat through. Or you just sign up now and get access.
When you did your degree then, would you do placements, what we would call placements here, clinical placements? You do that in year one?
Not year one.
So year one was...
actually year one we did. So we did more, I'm trying to think of the PC word for it, like the old age homes.
Yeah.
Like homes for the elderly.
Yeah.
And then
frail people,
Yeah. And then government, pediatric, like cerebral palsy, that needed extra care. So we did that in first year.
Yeah.
Second year was a little bit of an expansion on that. So instead of just going there, we were actually able to do some hands-on stuff in second year.
Okay.
And then third year was in hospitals. So it would be whatever your placement was. So you would go to Baragwanath or Joburg Gen, and you would either be in orthopedics, respiratory, and then there was just a couple. So neuro. And then in fourth year, you would go into ICU and you'd be more specialist. You'd be able to do more things.
Yeah. Okay. So
Under
it kind
supervision.
of like, it's a bit more like graded exposure then. So year one, it was like being exposed to quasi clinical environments. So they are, but they're not, right? And so you're kind of getting used to just talking to the general public, I guess, and interacting with people who have ailments.
Yeah.
And then year two, it was more, you got exposed to hospitals. You did some hands-on stuff there. So you was be able to do some kind of like assessment-based stuff, I imagine, like some kind of like what we consider traditional physio techniques. Mm-hmm. And then year three was more exposure of that more frequently.
It was, more exposure. I think the essence is that they want to make sure you want to do physio because it's quite a high demand career path to go into. So I think there's like 5 universities that offer physio at medical schools, or maybe 4, and maximum 60 people.
Yeah.
So it's not that many that are able to get into physio. Yeah. So, and I think that's also why they had medicine, occupational therapy all together until the end of second year. So you could change if you wanted to.
Ah, all right. Yeah. Clever. So were your placements, I know I'm asking you to scratch your memory here, were your placements quite generic placements in that you could be with medics who were looking after you, could be with occupational therapists who were looking after you, or would you be aligned to a physio?
You would have a physiotherapist that was supervising you, Yeah.
Because I can definitely see why that would be the case in the later years when you're having to do like the physio-y stuff. But in the early years, if it was just about exposure to clinical environments, you could see.
I suppose the first 2 years, like in the schools and in the homes for the elderly, there wasn't a physio there per se.
Yeah.
We were assigned what we had to do, and that was pretty much it.
Okay, yeah.
But then when obviously in the hospital placements, we got assigned a physio.
Yes.
That was very specific.
Yeah. So you said you then would kind of progress from being like half of your week? Was it?
So it was Monday through Friday, half day in clinic, so 8 till 12, 1 o'clock. And then you would go back to university and have lectures in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then in fourth year, it was Monday through Thursday, full day.
Friday, half a day.
And then lectures in the afternoon.
Yeah. Whoever thought of that as an educationally sound method, I kind of have 2 opinions on this. One, I love it. I love the fact that you've got, basically, you're doing clinical stuff all the time, and then you're doing your theory, which presumably then just really cemented it because you've just seen it this morning with Dave on the ward,
and then you're doing the theory about it, and you have to, right, that clicks, right? So I love that. I don't know what I like about the timing of when the lectures happen, because like...
The Friday afternoon.
Well, definitely the Friday afternoon. I mean, like, who after a full day working, like, even if you're like now as a qualified and you're like, you know, you're happy, Friday afternoon, you're not at your cognitively sharpest.
Well,
right?
I mean, it was a tough degree. Like,
Right, you've got to get it in somewhere, right?
You've got to do the work of the whole day, and then you got to go back and you got to learn. And so it's like you're not going to lectures, but you're still having to put the plan, like treatment plans.
I mean, even just thinking like as a previously used to work at a university. I mean, like Friday afternoon, and I'm thinking, right, I've got my whole year group in on Friday afternoon, and trying to motivate them, enthusiastic, and engage them in this really dull, boring, theoretical topic on a Friday afternoon. That was tough.
Yeah, well, just got to do it. There was a party afterwards, though. Always.
All right. Okay. And that's key, right? You got to have the social stuff.
Everyone's there together anyway.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
There's a massive segue.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, what's the social scene like at uni for physios? Was it kind of like was it strong?
To be honest, it wasn't that. That wasn't that great because it just literally wasn't that much time.
Yeah.
So it would be party hard Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Recover Sunday. Sometimes you'd go out during the week, but when you're young, you can do that. You can go out.
No bother, right?
Get up.
Yeah. I'm still recovering from 3 months ago when I had like half a lager. Obviously, that's a joke because I'm a Geordie and 75% of my cells are made from alcohol and caffeine. Now, I remember this being a thing, I guess, like a tension, should we say, from students who are physiotherapy, and they're doing a degree which is like 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, then doing all your stuff that you have to do afterwards because of the professional nature of it and because of like the fidelity attached to it. Like if you muck up, if you don't understand something and you muck up, then that could be potentially catastrophic to somebody's life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm kind of going right at the big end of the scale here, but that's more likely than somebody who's studying, say, geography, right? It's very unlikely that they're going to cause like, I don't know, a volcanic eruption or whatever because they didn't go to a lesson on a Thursday afternoon, right?
I mean, the power you're giving us physios, Carl.
Right. Wow. But so at the university you went to, right? I mean, obviously within that sector of occupational therapists, other AHPs, doctors, everyone's going to be kind of in that same boat. But was there other students at the university that weren't doing those kind of degrees? Or was it... Oh, right. So then that kind of makes sense then, because then everybody's in that frame of mind, that's just what you do.
Yep. I mean, the medical students got a bit more of a free ride 3rd and 4th year, and then they had to start grafting.
Oh, really?
So they would go out and party more than we did in 3rd year. It was very sad.
Okay.
But it was okay.
So, because what I think you find here, which is one of the tensions a lot of students have here, particularly in the UK, is that they're at university, right? And at university, there's a huge variance in how degrees are done. So I kind of use geography there as an example, right? But a geography degree might only require them to be in university maybe 7 hours a week, right? I mean, and I'm not saying that's on average, but there'll be some weeks which would be fairly light touch in terms of how much direct contact they need. So you've got that contrasted to somebody who's doing what we call clinical placements full time. They'll be working pretty much full time, traveling to the venue, traveling back to the venue, which sometimes could be like an hour, there and back. And so I think you used to find students, I'm sure this is still the case, but you'd find students have that tension of, this is what I know I want to do, I want to be this, and I know it's the right thing to do, yet I've got my housemate who I've probably done more hours today than they will do all week. But I guess you wouldn't have that tension, right? Because you were in the environment where everybody was doing that.
And most people stayed at home. So
really?
Yeah, so there wasn't much of a dorm vibe in Joburg, yeah. So there were obviously some people in dormitories, but they were single dormitories.
Yeah.
And then, and they were with other medical students, so...
Everyone was in the same boat.
Everyone was in the same boat.
I found that as well, like when you speak to students, I think we should get some students on the podcast actually, because it'd be good to hear them. But what they found was when they had like a house share with other, didn't necessarily have to be physios, but other people who were doing professional degrees, so like occupational therapists, nursing, that kind of stuff, there was a lot more respect and understanding when they couldn't do things like social things, like let's not have a party till 2:00 in the morning because I've got to be up tomorrow and go into clinical placement.
Yeah.
Like that's just not acceptable. And then the whole stuff about, just daft things about like how to iron your uniform, that kind of stuff, because everybody had to do it. They learned it and they did it. Whereas those who were in houses that didn't have any other professional students in, they probably had a lot more social things to navigate around about like boundaries and what they had to do versus everybody else in the household.
And also the temptation to join everybody else, right?
Sure.
That's also, you're young,
Sure.
right? You want to...
Absolutely, right? And you got to have fun, right? That's... I would hate for somebody to say they did a full degree, hardcore degree, and then I didn't enjoy it at all. It's...
I imagine that must be really tough.
Yeah. Do you know what I found though, right? I think there's like pros and cons for both. I think the ones who are in a household who were all physio students, it just meant it was always physio. It just meant the conversation was physio, the context was physio. I'm seeing you tomorrow morning because I'm going to the same lectures with you. I'm like, because cohort sizes aren't massive. They're not like 200, 300. So, you can get a bit wear and thin, right? When you're just seeing the same people in the same conversations. And there's kind of it's a bit like, when you got your laptop at home and it's there and well, I could open that and do some work. And it's not saying anything to you, just minding its own business. But it's kind of the reminder that work is there. I think I'm probably over exaggerating this a little bit, but it's kind of like, well, if you're in that environment all the time, I'm seeing you're a kind of a reminder that I have study to do.
Well,
in physio?
I think it could work both ways, but I imagine, being young, they probably have other friends and they probably socialize outside of that.
But one of the things I found though is with my guidance tutees is that they weren't using those exact words, but it was kind of like physio is always on because I'm in a house with physios, so there's always some reminder that I've got a studying degree, and the people who didn't have that, so they were in a household that there was no physios in. They probably found that they had more switch off. So I think that was more helpful for them in terms of they had a better switch off, but they struggled with,
how much switch off?
How much switch off, But also like the struggle that they had with their other housemates going, well, why can't I just have a party on Tuesday? Because that's what students do, right? And what's the problem with that? But so there's pros and cons of both, I guess I'm saying. Now, the clinical placements that you had, kind of getting closer to the end of your degree, were they gradually increasing the autonomy, I guess, the more like responsibility?
To be honest, fourth year was mostly autonomous because you would be placed in completely different blocks. So you would have a neuro block, then you would have ICU, and everybody would be changing. So it's not like everybody progressed together. So you would progress together in the 4 weeks that you're in a placement.
Yeah.
And then you would have an elective.
Yeah.
Which my elective was neuro. That's what I wanted to go into.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Changed my mind because I'm a big softie and I cried every day. Oh. Decided I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So I went into ortho.
With your elective, was it within, you couldn't go outside of South Africa?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest. Your elective was supposed to be what you wanted to specialize in, like where you wanted to go, to make sure that's where you wanted to go, which worked for me because I did not want to go there.
Yeah. There's so many people who do that. They do their elective placements and then it works one way or the other. Confirms that, yes, this is definitely what I want to do. Or it's like, actually, no, I don't think I do want to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really powerful. Like that, the fact that you've had that choice. I think the even cleverer ones then start realizing that their first reactions to something isn't always an accurate thing about what they want to do. So like, if you think your decision-making process is like, I know I want to do this, right? And then you do something and realize, okay, I don't want to do this. It starts to question, well, is my decision-making process based on what I think the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was going a bit more educational philosophy there.
Like, wow.
Right.
All right.
So,
but I see where you're coming from.
So by the end of that fourth year, you're ready to go.
You are ready to go. And it's high volume, right? So like I moved to Bermuda and we had one pediatric child that needed to be suctioned, but I had done thousands in my elective. So I could literally swaddle, do the thing really quickly because I'd just done volume. And that was a sad reality, but a beneficial one for someone learning.
Yeah. Volume in education and the opportunity to repeat is basically how you learn stuff. So how quickly you are able to do something and then do it again and then do it again and then do it again. That's what gets it stuck in your head. So there's a good chance that even after all these years now, you probably haven't had to do this for a long time, but even after all those years, you probably wouldn't take you that long to remember it because it'll have stuck in your memory because you've had to do lots and lots in a very short period of time. So the repetition of being able to do it. All right, guys. So that is the end of our podcast episode with Shara. Thank you, Shara, for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Carl.
And as always, guys, right? You hear this on every podcast, I'm sure, but this is a big, big message because it makes a big, big deal. We've been able to get Shara over from Bermuda onto this podcast episode because this is the kind of things people are asking for, right? So if you like, if you comment, if you share this podcast, we know that we're doing things that are going to be helpful to you, that are of interest to you. And if you don't do that, we don't know if it's what we're doing is any good or not, right? We think it's cool and I have a great time because I get to speak to nice people and drink nice coffee, but I don't know if it's that super helpful. So please like, comment, share. It makes a massive difference to what we can do. Give us some ideas of other things that you'd love to see. See you next time.